What's up, guys? Welcome to the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. My name is Vinny. I'm your host. You may know me on social media as VC2Art. I'm glad that you're here. We're going to be talking today with my first guest, Cody Sabol. Without further ado, let's get to the episode. All right, guys, welcome back. Today's episode is brought to you by Candelore's Barking Beauties. If you have pets, if you're local to the Pittsburgh area, you definitely want to check them out. They have 5 convenient, no appointment needed salons located in Elizabeth, White Oak, Finleyville, Monongahela, and Irwin. All breeds are welcome. Any size dog is welcome. And if you would like some more information on grooming, you can call 412-872-5550 or just visit CandeloresBarkingBeauties.com. They also have boarding and daycare. If you'd like info on that, you can call 412-824-8440. That's Candelore's Barking Beauties, where our salon is your salon. All right, so on today's episode, like I said, I have my friend, my studio partner, Cody Sabol. He's going to sit down right here with me. We're going to talk about everything from his event at the Peach Bowl while he was painting Kenny Pickett and Dan Marino live on the set of ESPN for ACC Network. Talk about some of the custom cleats that he did this past season for the Steelers, some of the guys like TJ Watt and Ben Roethlisberger, all of that stuff. But we're also going to have a conversation that not only just talks about the highs, but we're going to get into like the lows of what it's like to do what we do. So if you're watching this, you're listening to this, you may be here as just somebody who likes sports, who likes sneakers, or you're an artist as well. And so we're going to get into like a little bit of the stuff that, artists don't necessarily share, because being honest, when you're posting to social media and making, content, you want to share the cool parts. You want to share the parts that everybody can relate to, or everybody wants to see, or the successes, all that. But there's so much more to any job. But to this one specifically, we're going to have a conversation that hopefully, if you're listening and you're an artist, it helps you feel less alone. It helps you know that other people struggle with the things that you struggle with. If you're not an artist and you're just one of the sports fans or sneaker, fans that listen to this podcast or follow on social media, this is for you too, because then you get to also see some of the behind the scenes of the stuff that you may not see on your favorite artist's social media page. So it's a really good conversation. Happy that my buddy was able to make this happen. This is episode 1. Let's go.
Is that looking at you?
It's got both of us on it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more of like a profound like moment cam. So
I love that it's like pointing, like it's angled at you.
Yeah.
Instead of your guest.
It's a mostly profile shot of you, so that if by chance you say anything worthwhile, I can have a close-up shot of you saying it.
Yeah, but like, why not put it here?
Because then the mic's partly in your face.
That's a good point. I haven't thought about that.
I've had plenty of time to thoroughly think through this podcast, because
this is actually our 4th time trying. This is no joke. This is try number 4.
It is, yeah. And
so you came in pretty sauced up the first time, and we had shoes to do all night. And you're like, "What if we did a podcast?" Well, we did that, and you were so angry that I wouldn't do a podcast. You tried for so long.
Angry.
You were downloading like viruses and software on the laptop just to get what was it, Audacity, whatever, onto my laptop.
That's what it's called, right? Audacity.
And you're like, why do you have to update your laptop? Like, don't you have automatic updates?
Your laptop was running off of 2004,
like Windows 11.
Yeah, I don't even know what it was. So that was frustrating. That didn't work. So then the second time we set up a table, we were so we've kind of just redid the space, which I think it looks a lot better than what it was.
It's actually I set this up because I thought it'd be better for me, but it turns out it's better for you.
Yeah, this is great.
I still feel lost in the studio. Thanks for paying.
Yeah.
Rent.
Yeah, man, this is great. Yeah. So,
should we start now? Do you have to intro me, or have you done that already?
We're gonna record that before, so don't worry about,
I'm worried.
Nobody knows.
What did you say?
I haven't recorded it yet, so that's kind of how podcasts work, is that we talk and then I'll go back and say something,
What will you say?
All right, ready? If I had to record it right now,
yeah,
I would say, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast.
So this is the beginning.
So this would be the beginning of the podcast, is what I'm recording right now.
I just want to hear about me. You don't have to intro your podcast.
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
So I would say, welcome to the podcast. Today, I have a guest who's going to check his Apple Watch while we record the podcast and act like he's got way bigger fish to fry than being here. And it's going to be really rude, and
I can do
get
two
upset.
things. I can do two things at once. I can be present here, and I only checked because I didn't want it to ding again, and I don't know how to change it from dinging again.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah. So why do I have you on? I'm going to ask my own questions to myself. I'll just interview myself. Vinny, why would you have Cody on your podcast? Well, it's because I knew several times that I was going to mess up, and I needed somebody who would be readily available to re-record.
That makes sense.
In the podcast space. So, also on top of that, though, I have a vlog, which I don't know if you knew this.
I'm like 90% of your vlog.
That's why you're on this episode too.
So am I gonna be on next week?
You're the whole season. It's just you and me, but it's my podcast. So, all right. So really though, in the vlog, we went to Atlanta. I mean, that was amazing. So let's run that back a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's kind of revisit that. If you haven't, or if you're listening and you haven't seen or know what we're talking about, just to kind of sum that up, you posted a video that is on your YouTube, which is just like a recap of the event. You were hired by ACC Network, right? And you were to paint live at the Peach Bowl where Pitt was there and do like this whole thing. So kind of like take me through, like, what does it feel like when you're in front of a stage or an audience that large, have that many eyes on you, you're doing a live speed painting, there's like a ton of room for error, nerves, all that stuff. Like, what does it feel like going through, like, what's going through your mind in that moment?
Well, not a lot, because when you get there, you have like a ton of time to get yourself situated, and we were at the stage well before doors opened. So like, by the time that I was ready to go, like I was ready, and there really isn't that much of a stage fright to it, because when you're looking at when you're painting, it's just you and the canvas. Like, you block everything else out. The only thing that I had to do differently than my other paintings was every once in a while, Kelsey Riggs from ESPN would, do a little interview with me. And so that was the only like oddity of it. But you feel how big atmospherically that everything is. You see that like there's some people gathered, which was really cool. Pitt fans travel really well. Yeah, and
I was really surprised by that. Honestly,
yeah, me too. And it was really cool because there were a bunch of people that I knew personally that that came by and said something. So the whole thing was really neat. But truthfully, it's like you're just worried about doing a good painting because you just want to make a good painting.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it was awesome, and then getting to hang out a little bit with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, it was awesome that he came down and took like a picture.
Yeah.
So the crazy part was that he actually was landing at the airport like when you started the painting. You initially had like what, 50, almost an hour to complete this thing.
So they wanted to do a little spot with him and a little interview with him, and they wanted the painting to be done by that point. So if he wasn't going to be there, I would have had like the whole show to do the painting. But if he was going to be there, they would have dropped the time down by 30 minutes, which is pretty wild.
You do like 2 more speed paintings in that amount of time.
Yeah, so the room for error, like if you do something you don't like, you have time to like to change things up a little bit, and then so for it to like fluctuate in time so much was a little weird, a little difficult to navigate, and very little difficulty in doing that. Yeah. So it wasn't that big a deal, but it was fun to like to have it all come together at the end with Kenny and them. So yeah, it was cool. I loved it. It was the best way to cap off 2021, I think.
So something else that we got to work on this year together not just going down to Atlanta and doing the whole speed painting, but like still in the football season, we did some cleats together. So for the Steelers, which facility's right up the street, so that's been really fun to work with them. And I know you've been working with them for years. And some of the ones that come to mind when I think back this year, you did Chase, Claypool, Cam Hayward, Big Ben, and some of my favorite ones that I saw you do this year were for TJ Watt. Yeah. And so I want to talk to you about the cleats you did for TJ and like kind of going back through, is there any specific pair that comes to mind that you're like those are my favorite ones that I did?
There's basically all my favorite cleats are for TJ. And it's easy to say that when you talk about the who will win the him who will win the defensive player of the year this year, and if not, it's rigged. Because TJ gives me a lot of creative freedom, as long as it fits within the guidelines of the NFL rules about uniforms and what they can wear. I really like the Christmas ones. The Christmas ones with Home Alone and the Christmas Family Vacation. Those were challenging, and then I was told that he's probably going to get fined for like the design on them, so we had to really I had to get those cleats back, and I had to change them to make them more team colors, which was very painful to like sand off those portraits that I made. It was like I was gonna do a video where I was crying while I did that.
You should have.
But
I definitely would have.
I know you would have, and that's why I was like, I'm not doing this, because I'm not ready to sell my soul yet for TikTok.
Come on, man.
I'm just kidding. No, your content's great. You can do that. You can do that. I can't do that.
That doesn't feel like a compliment.
No, it is. You have.
You're like, I would never do what you do. I would never subject myself to what you do.
You're comedic.
Okay.
You're decently comedic.
That's not a compliment either.
But in your flow and in your rhythm, like, you're comedic.
Thank you. I'm decent. I'm gonna put that in my Instagram bio. I'm decently comedic.
Yeah, but you don't try to be.
Yeah.
It just comes across as like, this is funny without you even trying. Like, you're not even trying to be, and you're decent at it.
I'm just kidding. I do take that as a compliment.
I mean, it was like not like a full compliment, so don't get too happy about it. There was one that you really did that was really good, and I'll be perfectly honest. I laugh at a lot of your TikToks, like not just the like sniffle, not just like the
yeah,
like I like full out laugh.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I remember the first one you ever complimented where I like started making like goofy TikToks was when I was like made the video of like peeling the paint chips off the bottle, and it was like the best way to waste time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to make fun of about what we do, and I'm glad that you go that route.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of really what I wanted to talk to you about today. Is like I want to talk to you about the game. I want to talk to you about the cleats, all the stuff that are the highs. But we share all the high on social media. We share all the like victories and the wins and the cool moments and the people we get to meet and like doing this job. There is a ton of really cool moments. There's also a ton of not so cool moments that don't get shown. We don't post about. We just kind of like either keep it to ourselves, or luckily we have each other in this studio space to vent and talk through it. But
well, this job pulls you apart, like it's hard to think about like all the stressful times, because you feel like when you have stressful times, it's like you're ungrateful for getting to work with these guys in these organizations. But I mean, the truth is, some guys will text you Thursday and they leave for, Baltimore on Saturday. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, so we have Friday.
So just not sleeping.
To just, yeah. I mean, I've probably spent 3 or 4, like, all-nighters this past year doing cleats, which isn't healthy. Yeah. When you have a full 8-hour day and you end that day at, like, 8, and then you have 8 more hours on top of that.
Yeah.
What
I mean, I know for me, sometimes I don't really know what pulls me through that, but like is it that like big moment of like I want to get this done. I want to like, or like what gets you through that late night, early morning, like it can't
Yeah.
be the money, right? It's not.
Oh, it's the money. I don't do anything.
I don't believe you, because at the end of the day, if it was about the money, eventually you're going to burn yourself out.
Well,
right?
eventually, if it was about the money, I would probably start giving you a lot of the clients.
It's true. So maybe just need you to pick up a few more things that are just for the money, so that then I pick up some of the work.
Well, here's the thing. So that we had an influx, and there were some guys that reached out to me, and I just couldn't do everything.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trust giving having those clients and then giving them like. There have been a few times where I'm like, I need your help. I need you to do this.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do that if I didn't think that you were like talented and capable, and I actually, I think you're at this point way better than anything that I do.
I am grateful though that we have each other, and I mean we were actually discovering
We do have each other, huh?
We do.
We have each other.
We do. I got you, babe.
Okay.
We got we've kind of recently discovered there's some pretty dope sneaker artists in Pittsburgh, and so
Other than us?
yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say.
Ball Boy.
Yeah, which I'm gonna have him on the podcast at some point.
Shout out,
Yeah.
Mr. Kroll. Brennan Bizen.
Yeah, I mean, and even just in that circle.
I mean, that's an all-star group.
That's
four really, I think, innovative. There's nobody that's doing any I think in the shoe game today that's trying to be as innovative as Kroll. Yeah, Ball Boy.
Yeah, his work's insane. I'll put some of it on the screen. If you guys don't already follow him, definitely follow.
Saturday, what does he call it? Saturdays or augmented reality? AR Saturdays?
Yeah, so he'll make like a filter that you can literally wear the shoes on your feet.
Yeah.
When you scan
like
it.
on
like
Snapchat.
His custom shoes, not like a pair of shoes. Like he'll design a pair of shoes in 3D, and then you wear them on your feet. But it's crazy. So yeah, Pittsburgh's kind of becoming like this little, area where there's some sneaker artists in it, and having each other in the same studio has been really beneficial for not just bouncing ideas, but helping each other through those sleepless nights of trying to get projects done. There's been times where you've been out of town and I've had to add a coat on for you, or do a finish or make a drop off or whatever. So what do you think the importance? That's kind of like what with this podcast I'm hoping to do is to just honestly use this as a platform to it's just another piece of content that brings the community together and shows a little bit behind the artist, what goes into, because like I said, you only share the good stuff most of the time on social media. Yeah. So seeing that oh, this person pulls all-nighters too, this person gets really, really exhausted and burnt out and has to push through too, having a community, because we're lucky enough to be in the same space, but I know a lot of people, it's a very lonely industry if you're just getting started out and you're not really maybe you don't have any other people in your city that do it, at least not to the level that you do it on. And so what do you think the important, how different would this season have been if you weren't in this space and we weren't even working together?
If I didn't have you?
Yeah. Tell everybody how important I am to you is kind of the question.
Well, if I didn't know you, I would have just done all those cleats myself. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. I would have probably had to have done 30?
I'm fishing for compliments here.
30 pairs of cleats. Something. You were good enough to where I could share some of those with you.
All right, deal.
He was good enough. He's just okay. No, I you. How precise you are with your stenciling and with your words. You just take so much care of each pair of cleats because, your quality over quantity, and sometimes
to a fault.
In the past, I've had in some weeks a lot of quantity that the quality couldn't keep up with it. There are pairs of cleats where where you would work on them and it would be like last minute and you've already done 6 pairs that week, and then you get to like you're sitting down on Sunday after you dropped them off at Heinz Field at 9 a.m. and the game's at 1, and then you sit down and you're like, oh, thankfully I'm done. And then you watch the game and they're not even wearing them. And you're like, hey, I could have maybe seen my daughter for the first time in weeks,
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow.
I'm talking to you, Steven Nelson. I remember last year, dude.
You haven't forgot. That's so funny.
I love Steve. He's not going to listen to this, so it doesn't matter.
I think he blocks me.
Oh, yeah, he does block you. That's so funny how you, discovered that he blocked you.
I'm blocked by 2 people on Instagram.
Who?
Him and someone else that's just like I have no idea.
An ex-girlfriend?
2 people. It's not an ex-girlfriend, no. But I don't know. I don't know what I did. Maybe he got toasted or something, and I sent out a tweet.
You probably did. You were probably like, "This guy is absolute trash."
Tweet, yeah, probably 3 years ago.
You probably said something horrible. I got blocked by one of the Pirates.
Really?
Yeah, back in 2013 when they were in the playoffs. I was like a freshman in college, and Jordy Mercer struck out with 2 guys on, and in a really important late inning ball game, maybe in the postseason. And I didn't even tweet anything terrible. I just said Jordy Mercer's my least favorite Pirate, and I found out that I was blocked for it.
By him?
Yeah, by him.
That's amazing.
Which is, he ended up deleting his Twitter.
Because of you saying that?
No, I think because he couldn't live without me.
Yeah, he couldn't.
And so I'm not blocked by anybody as far as I know, which is nice. Let's change that. Who can we talk about? Who can we talk about right now?
Who could we get blocked by?
Yeah, athlete-wise, right now. Pick somebody.
I mean, I would love to get blocked by Sidney Crosby.
He doesn't have social media, so you couldn't have picked a worse person.
The worst example.
You couldn't pick the worst.
I'm just trying to think of the most famous one in Pittsburgh.
And that's not Ben?
He doesn't have social media either.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah, he has a social media team and Big Ben.
No, it's one girl named Erin, and she's very nice.
You can't give that information out, I don't think. Do they openly share that?
Who cares? They're not listening. Sorry, Erin. You've been a mystery for too long.
Your secret's out.
I don't know your last name or where you live, so it's fine.
This
right?
is the content. This is why I started.
Dude,
this podcast.
First of all, if I just said a random person named Greg,
people
know that it's not Ben. People know it's not Ben.
People that think Big Ben is posting daily.
Impossible.
There are people.
Well, let me tell you. Let me look you dead in your eyes. It's not Ben. You can go to sleep. He's not reading your tweet.
All right, so before we expose all of Pittsburgh's, deepest, darkest secrets of who runs their Twitter accounts, let's move on to this final thing here. It's kind of like a rapid fire question. I'm just going to ask you, give me your best answer, and we'll roll with that. So the first question, with the Super Bowl coming up, this is a uniform related question, which I follow accounts on Twitter, which always were the first kind of segue into me getting into uniform design and all this stuff. And one of the debates going on is what uniform what combo should the Bengals wear with their new design. They have all these different combos, and then with the Rams they got their throwback, which is just kind of an away uniform. Then they got their bone uniform. All this. What's your idea? What combo should each team wear? What would you like to see in that game, and which team do you think did a better redesign of their uniform this past year when they did that?
Oh, that's a good question, because I think the Rams did a little too much and the Bengals did not enough.
Okay.
So I feel I really do like the Rams. I don't care too much for the bone one, but the white jersey looks really sharp.
Yeah.
It does look modern. People hate on it, and I know people will always want the traditional stuff, and I am a big traditional guy. But But I do like what the Rams did. You know me, I love the color gradient in the numbers that go up.
Yeah.
I also love the texture in the numbers, like how they're like Rams horns and how they twist within the like the number and stuff. So I would like to see the blue. I'd like to see the Rams in blue.
So the Bengals are specified as the home team. Okay. So they get their option, which they wore white at home one time this year. So I'm thinking they're either going to wear black. I'm thinking they'll wear black, personally. But
they might wear white just because it's at the Rams stadium.
And they were like a road team throughout. So.
It kind of gives them that like underdog mentality. So it's so weird. Both these teams are underdogs to me.
Yeah. I'm excited to see like new.
I don't like the number font that the Bengals chose. I think it's too skinny. I wish it was just a little bit thicker.
I think it would work if the outline was thicker. I think it looks a little cheap.
Yeah, you're right. I agree, but I still like what they've done, Yeah. It's just like when you have the tiger stripes, you feel like there's so much potential there to do something like wicked, and I feel like they didn't.
Yeah. So you're
but they're good. I'd give them like a 7 out of 10.
Sure.
I'd give the Rams like an 8 out of 10.
It's better than what they had.
For sure. Yeah.
So you're thinking you want to see like the Rams all blue, mono blue versus solid white?
No, I think white with the black pants.
White and black pants?
Yeah.
That's a good look. I'm hoping for Bengals to wear black tops, which I don't think they will now that you say that about them being like on the road and it's a away game. But my ideal like visual game would be black tops, white pants for the Bengals, and then the white jersey with the yellow sleeves, not the bone one.
Yeah.
With the yellow pants.
Well, here's ideally what I want to see is the Rams blue and the Bengals orange. Like I like the Bengals orange tops, but they won't do that.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it for the Super Bowl.
No.
All right, so next question. This is like a sneaker related question. One pair of shoes that you have to wear for the rest of your life. Style, color, like it's the same shoe.
I think like I don't know, because I have shoes that I want to create myself. Like I have shoes that I personally want to cut the leather, I want to stitch them up, and I have a pair of shoes.
Like kind of learning how to do that recently, right?
Yeah. And it's a pair of Jordan 1 off-whites, but they're black, and I think I'm gonna do like the Donda, like Kanye West type of like punk rocker spikes coming out of the toe box here. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want to do. I got a little punk rock in me, despite my hair and face and despite the clothes that I wear. Yeah. Or blazers. I love blazers. They're not comfortable. I like those shoes that you won the raffle for and still had to pay for them.
I know.
That's funny how Nike does that. What are those called? Shattered blue?
No. These were...
I don't care. What's the next
prototypes
question?
Or something like that? I don't know. Last question. Okay. 3 words you'd tell yourself 10 years ago. Only 3 words. Can't make a full sentence. Just 3 words.
3 words I would tell myself
10 years ago that would set you up for your art career, or maybe it's not, maybe it's personal life. Like, what are 3 words that you're like, this is what I'm going to tell myself? You can go back in time 10 years ago. You only get 3 words.
Stop hitting people.
Stop hitting people?
I don't know. 3 words that I'd tell myself 10 years ago. Just don't suck. If here's the thing. If I was in a position to go back in time 10 years and then I had only 3 words to tell my 16-year-old self, I probably just wouldn't go.
Just like, nah.
I'd probably be like,
nothing.
Okay, well, I mean, things are fine now.
I mean, like,
am I trying to change something?
It's gonna work.
What do I need 10 years ago?
Just keep painting.
I seem to be figured it out. I seem to have figured, like I wouldn't go, I don't think.
You wouldn't go.
No. Why would I want to change anything?
You would opt out of time travel?
To say 3 words to my 16-year-old self? Yeah, kind of. And that's all I was there to do?
I feel like you.
Or can I spend more time?
I feel like you would self-sabotage and go back and say something like so sarcastic, like
college wasn't worth it. This is more than, don't go college.
And then you'd hear yourself say that and be like, God, I gotta go to college. Like, can't even formulate a sentence in the future.
Like, give me like a full sentence to do.
3 words.
Did you ask anybody if that was a good question? Did you run these by Lindy or Veda?
I did. I asked Veda and she gave me a better response than you did.
That's because she's 2 and only knows 3 words.
Yeah, that's true. She talks in full sentences.
She does talk in full sentence. She's a genius. She makes my kid look dumb.
Shut up. You can't say that on a podcast that's being recorded.
I'm kidding, Brooks. When you don't watch this in 18 years because Joe Rogan has canceled Spotify for everybody,
Your son actually, though, is like the most athletic 2-year-old I've ever met in my whole life. The first time I met him at your house, he was
doing push-ups,
ripping down your driveway on like a bike without training wheels, and just rounded the bend and just kept going down the street. If my daughter steps down off a step, I have to like be ready. And so when he took off down the driveway, I was like, oh, this is awful. Like, this is gonna be the worst. This is the first time we're hanging out at your house, and I'm gonna witness you take your son to the hospital. But he ripped around that bend and just like put his feet down. It's crazy.
He's got good genes, That's all I could say is he comes from a physical specimen.
Yeah.
A long line of them. So, I mean, he's got that D2 football blood in him.
Well, thank you for being here, bro.
For sure.
I want to wrap this up, but I want to give you the platform. Say whatever you want to say. Is there anything coming up for you? How could they get in contact with you if they want to book you to do a speed painting? Whatever it is, you got the floor. Have at it.
I'm Cody Sabol art on everything. So if you guys want to look at some things I've done or just me, so you could just find me there. Yeah. Don't go to college.
That's your message to end this?
Yep. Don't go. It's not worth it.
For everybody?
Yeah, like doctors. Unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, but if you're going for business, just don't go. Watch a Gary Vee podcast and do it yourself.
All right, well, thank you guys for being here today. This has been episode 1. I'm really excited for where this podcast is going to go in the future. So however you're listening, whether this is YouTube or you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, or whatever it may be, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button, whatever platform you're on, stay plugged in because there's going to be a ton of really exciting things that we're going to do. I'm going to hopefully have some really awesome guests that, you guys, if you have somebody in mind right now, shoot me a DM. Let me know, who should I have on this podcast? What would you like to hear on this podcast? I want to meet you and talk to you if you are listening to this, and so that I can provide some content that you're interested in. So hit me up on social media at VC2Art. Like we said, at Cody Sabol Art was my guest today. Go follow him too. He has a YouTube channel, all that stuff. Show him some love. This has been episode 1. Love you guys for being here. Really excited. See you on the episode 2.